Taiwan and around the world. The deadline for candidates to register in Taiwan's presidential elections is just 2 weeks away. But the four main contenders are still sorting out who will appear on ballots in January. Tiffany Wong has the story.
These boxes contain over 1 million petition signatures. They're the names of people who support Foxconn founder Terry Guo's bid to run as an independent candidate in January's presidential election. That's triple the number of signatures he needs to qualify. But some are questioning how many signatures are legitimate. Guo's petition drive has been plagued by accusations of fraud and bribery. Despite this, the billionaire is hopeful.
每一份联署书对我都是一份责任，每一份联署书对我都是一份鞭策。
Taiwan's Central Election Commission will now check the signatures and announce whether Guo has enough to enter the race on November 14th. But Guo isn't the only question mark hanging over the election. With just 2 weeks left to decide who will be on the ballot, the other two opposition candidates are struggling to form a joint ticket. They both want to defeat Lai Ching-te of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP. But to run together, one will have to drop out of the race and run as vice president. Neither has shown signs they're willing to do this. The Kuomintang, or KMT, backing candidate Hou You-yi, insists that cooperation is still possible.
朱立伦跟侯友宜总统参选人从来没有讲过，今天是所谓的截止日。直接跟大家讲啊，火车根本还没到站。
But Taiwan People's Party candidate Ko Wen-je says a KMT proposal to have lawmakers decide who will drop out would spell the end of his campaign.
国民党跟民众党的立委候选人哦，大家来投票。那我后来算一算，他们有69个立委候选人，我们是11个，这个还没投都知道结果了。
With the opposition split in three, the DPP's Lai Ching-te says he's ready for the challenge ahead.
不管蓝白合不合，赖清德都是最好的选择。另外，我们欢迎郭台铭参选总统，但是也敬请社会大众能够票投赖清德。
And Lai's team might be getting bigger. Xiaobi Kim, Taiwan's representative to the U.S. and one of Lai's top choices for running mate, is heading back to Taiwan just in time for the candidate registration deadline. There are still many questions as the election nears, but with the registration approaching fast, voters won't have to wait much longer to find out the answers. Lian Lien and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
Japan and the Philippines are restarting talks on military cooperation. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio and Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. met in Manila to discuss letting Japanese troops into the Philippines and vice versa. This mutual access would allow for joint training. Japan also pledged $4 million to the Philippines to help build up its radar systems. Both countries say they share concerns over China's aggressive behavior in the South and East China Seas. A strong earthquake in Nepal has killed over 100 people and left dozens more injured. The magnitude 5.6 tremor struck around midnight on Friday in the country's western region, toppling buildings. Emergency crews flew in by helicopter after landslides triggered by the quakes left roads closed. Nepal lies on a major fault line near the Himalayas. A 2015 earthquake there killed 9,000 people. A group of activists rallied outside Taipei 101 to raise awareness of climate change and what they're calling an ecological emergency. Sally Jensen was there.
Activists are gathering outside Taipei's biggest landmark to raise awareness about the climate and ecological crises and to call on Taiwan's government to accelerate the shift to renewable energy. The Power Up March, which is organized by 350org and Greenpeace Taiwan, brings together those who enjoy the outdoors, sports and nature to call for an end to the country's reliance on fossil fuels. Now, Taiwan has one of the highest emissions per person in Asia and is also highly vulnerable to the effects of the climate crisis. And activists here want to draw public attention to the climate and energy policies of the presidential candidates ahead of next year's election. And with the United Nations COP28 summit just around the corner, activists here hope that they can show Taiwan as part of a global movement. Scott Huang and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
The skulls of 4 warriors from the indigenous Paiwan people are on their way back to Taiwan from Scotland. Japanese troops had taken the skulls as war trophies during an expedition to Taiwan in 1874. Scotland's University of Edinburgh then added them to its collections in 1907. This is the first time a foreign institution has given back the seized remains of indigenous Taiwanese people. The remains will go on temporary display at the National Museum of Prehistory until a permanent resting place is arranged. The city of Tainan is often referred as Taiwan's food capital. Perhaps unsurprisingly, its residents are now leading the rankings in terms of weight. Louise Watt reports.
Braised meat, savoury pudding, and fried shrimp roll. Food is what Tainan in southern Taiwan is known for. One thing that makes its dishes stand out is their sweetness. Sugar has been a key part of Tainan's cooking, going back to the 1700s when it was Taiwan's capital and beef and sugar were considered food of the wealthy. Now Tainan is Taiwan's capital of obesity, not just because of its traditional food, but also newer drinks.
如果是常喝饮料，当然是没那么健康啦，对。但还是会就是希望就是可能喝无糖，或是就是1分糖，就是减糖这样子。
Not everyone does though. Taiwan's Sports Administration says 4 out of 10 people in Tainan are overweight. Some residents are relaxed about the news.
台南是真的有比较偏甜一点，但是因为那是符合我们在地人的口味这样子。我身为台南人，我不能认同。对。虽然像我一样有点胖，但是我觉得我们胖得很健康这样子。
But Tainan public health officials are calling on schools and families to help teach healthy eating habits, and they're promoting workplace health programs. The city's mayor is on board.
担任市长以来，这几年来也胖了蛮多的，那所以说我还是呼吁市长带头一起来减肥。
While Tainan is proud of its reputation as the culinary centre of Taiwan, it's now trying to stem its sugar cravings and nudge its population to a healthier diet. Patrick Chen and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is set to lift a ban on tour groups traveling to China by March next year. The news was welcomed by tourism operators, who say they've suffered steep losses from the restrictions.
在旅展的现场，都有很多消费者来问说，他要报名大陆的团，可是碍于法令的关系，但是昨天下午就接到了这个好消息。对消费者来说，或者是对业者来说，我想这是一个非常令人振奋的强心针。
Taiwan halted China-bound tour groups in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but tour agencies have been pushing the government to lift its ban. The Transportation Ministry plans to make a formal announcement before the Lunar New Year in February, but it says that might change depending on the results of Taiwan's presidential election. Authorities say trash in Taipei's largest river has doubled in recent years, and that single-use household waste is to blame. Bryn Thomas has the story.
Volunteers in Taipei and neighboring New Taipei have their hands full. A recent survey revealed that trash in the city's Tamsui River has doubled since 2020. Volunteers say there's over 150 bags worth of trash per square kilometer this year, compared to around 75 just 3 years ago.
保特瓶罐，然后饮料杯、免洗餐具等等这些一次性的饮料杯，生活使用的一次性的东西，就很容易出现在河川。
A closer look shows 70% of the trash is disposable household waste. It's mostly food packaging, things like takeout boxes, single-use plastics, and straws. New Taipei environmental authorities say the COVID-19 pandemic caused a sudden jump in the amount of garbage. At the time, food delivery services became much more popular as people ordered more takeout to socially distance. The result was a lot more trash collecting in a few choke points along the river.
很多餐厅都改成外带，我们必须要增加很多的包装材料跟一次性的一个东西，废弃物的增加。直接增加到1800吨，光是新北市增加了1/3的废弃物量。
Needless to say, this increase is not sustainable. The government is now calling on people and restaurants to reduce their waste and help keep the country's rivers clean. Devin Tsai and Bryn Thomas for TaiwanPlus.
A Taitung landmark for the local indigenous music scene is set to close at the end of the year. Yu Jing Huang has more.
Famous singer Jia is just one of the talents from Taiwan's indigenous communities to perform on this stage in the southeastern city of Taitung. Known as Tiehua Music Village, the venue has been an important base for indigenous musicians, accommodating superstars and local amateurs alike. The music scene here has been a boon for tourism, but the village's operators have announced it will close at the end of the year.
对台东来讲太可惜。
Tiehua Village was originally a warehouse site around the Taitung railway station. For years, the structures were left disused. An NGO focusing on regional revitalization stepped in 2009 and set about giving the area a facelift. Aside from live music, there's also a market selling indigenous craft works and products from independent farmers. Though Tiehua Village is set to close, the foundation that runs it says it will find another way to support the local community.
现实的营运还有未来的一个整体的考量底下，我们就先自己把它做一个好好的一个转型啊。第一个就是我们先把铁花村先结束掉。
那对县府而言，虽然感到遗憾，但是我们也只能够尊重铁花村他们目前的经营方式。当然，如果说他们有其他的需求，包括地点或其他的需求的话，我们台东县政府当然会很乐意去协助。
Tiehua Music Village is set to hold its final show on the last day of the year. After that, the county government will take over management of the site. It says it hopes to preserve something of the village spirit moving forward. Zhang Su and Yu Jinhuang for TaiwanPlus.
A Taiwanese modern dance troupe has won an award at the Teresa Pomodoro International Performance Competition in Italy. Taiwan's home dance production was one of the 13 troupes taking part. Judges awarded its routine, entitled Birdie, an award for the preservation of human cultural heritage. They say the dance symbolizes a dream of freedom and the value of human culture that needs to be protected. The competition is a major event in the dance world, with over 80,000 participants to date. Switzerland's beloved St. Bernard dogs aren't used for rescuing stranded hikers anymore. Now the breed is finding another way to help people as therapy dogs. Eric Gao has the story.
7 St. Bernard pups. This is the latest litter born at the Berry Foundation, a group that breeds this type of dog. This family of St. Bernards once helped save avalanche victims in Switzerland's treacherous alpine passes. One of them, Barry I, is credited with saving 40 lives in the 19th century. Those days of daring rescues may be gone, but the Berry Foundation says this breed still plays a critical role in helping people.
Donc voilà, le Saint-Bernard aujourd'hui, c'est un chien qui travaille socialement. Il est engagé dans les hôpitaux, dans les homes, auprès de personnes âgées. Il aide la personne dans sa thérapie. On a aussi rencontré des enfants, des prisonniers. Vraiment, ils font des merveilles aujourd'hui.
The dogs have 600 engagements with people every year, a service the foundation offers for free. For the group, it's not just a matter of charitable work, but of national pride.
Ils sont fantastiques. Ça, de toute façon, c'est la passion. C'est la passion qui mène toute cette histoire. Mais bien sûr, c'est un symbole très fort pour la Suisse.
The foundation is committed to both maintaining the breed standards and showcasing the St. Bernard's power to help people in need. Andy Xue, John Van Trieste, and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out this dog bus in Brazil. I'm Sunny Chi. Take care and see you next time.